Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad.
No worries.
Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very exciting and very fun-filled episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, and holy crap, we got an exciting episode for you today because this week, it really was a massively packed week where we got a whole bunch of trailers and some interesting stories that we're gonna go and talk about. But I am not gonna be alone on this one. Yes, I am gonna be getting some help because this week has been so epic that I cannot be doing this alone, and I cannot just be doing this with the chat wall. So please welcome back to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. Once again, here is Jaimetud. James, what is up, dude?
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Do As Sonic Says, Not As Sonic Does, even if it means running around in the tumble dryer.
Oh my god, I actually saw that video you just did. Oh my god, that is actually pretty funny. Holy crap. I'm Sonic. I didn't even make that connection. It was like, oh my god, yeah, that is true. Oh god, hopefully that'll be the only Sonic Says that he will break. Any more, that's no good.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have him getting felt up by the cop, who's patting him down. Just be like, if someone touches you in a place that you don't like, that's no good.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually would do that reference in the movie.
Actually, you know what? Here's what I want to see Jim Carrey say at some point is to have him say, "Snooping as usual, I see."
Please, we need the Pingus, but we need to save some of that for the actual show itself. But I don't think I need to ask you, James, because you seem more than ready for what we have coming up. But I want to know, chat wall, are you all ready for this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Are we ready to go and start things off? Let me hear it now. Let's see. Yes. Oh, great. People are ready. People are all set. That's what I love to hear. And now we can officially go and get this started. So, to start things off, James, as my guest, I am going to give you a little bit of a gift. To give you a little bit of control, just a little bit in this episode. Because the big thing is that 3 of the stories that we have are 3 of the big trailers that have been released this week. Which coincidentally they are either animated or partially animated. We got Scoob, we got Sonic the Hedgehog, which we talked about a little bit, and we also got the SpongeBob Movie, Sponge on the Run. James, your power is that you got control of which one you want to start off with, or you got the control of which trailer you want to see in order for this episode. So, James, what would you like to start with?
I think it's going to be pretty obvious. I am inevitable. Let's show the Sonic trailer first.
Sonic trailer it is. Oh, hold on a sec. I just realized something. Before we do, let me just I just need to fix up my webcam. It's just it's getting a little fidgety. I don't know how to Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a sec. I think I know the solution on fixing that up. I had this problem before. It's just that it's off sync a little bit, so. How the fridge?
It's okay.
Oh.
I
can't take my time on this. All right, there we go. Ah, there we go. Much better. This is better. Much better.
Yay!
So with that
We're not
said,
offending anybody.
All right. So with that said, let's go and begin with the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. If this thing can load. No, I'm okay. I just need to wait for this thing to be okay. Come on, show me the Sonic. Come on, show me the Sonic. I want to eat at Sonic's. Ah, there we go. All right, so finally, we got it done. We got it here. So let's begin by checking out Sonic the Hedgehog.
That is very gross. Let's go.
So yes, on Valentine's Day, you will see plenty of dates checking out Sonic the Hedgehog. So James, what did you think?
I just want to see a poster now for Valentine's Day of Sonic doing this for just in time for the film, like Deadpool.
Oh my
But anyway, someone was noting in the chat here that I'm talking over the trailer. Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate habit I've picked up. I riff. It's what I do.
You spend way too much time in the Drive-In Mutants.
Yes. So, I have to say this much. The morning that this got released, I sat back and I watched it, and I did another live stream like I did the last time, just to broadcast my reaction without actually showing the trailer, because if I did, I'd get dinged on YouTube. But regardless, it's so much better looking.
Oh yeah.
I still have a lot of questions regarding Sonic's apparent flash powers, which, let's be honest, he's reading the comic. He still has the power to shut out all the electricity in the area, which, darn it, Sonic, you probably did that to my state of California. I have you to blame for that now. Regardless, and the quills are electrical. So we still have these little nitpicks, but mainly what I'm looking at here is with the first trailer, I sat back and I said, I don't want to show this to my nieces. They're huge fans.
You don't want to show them?
No. No, with the previous trailer.
Oh, right.
With the previous trailer, I said, I got them into the comics and everything, and into the games. They like to run around and go, I'm Sonic, and the little one goes, I'm Sonic. No, I'm Sonic, you're Tails. So it's a game that they play. But regardless, that I was afraid whatever happened there was something, that might ruin the effect for them forever. But this time, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, yeah, I could go see this with them. I mean, especially considering all the effort that was put into trying to make this at the very least a better product.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I'm surprised nobody is bringing up is not just the redesign, but also the changes in color scheme. Like this, you look at this trailer. Have you noticed they beefed up the contrast a little bit? Like they brought out the colors.
Yeah, like a bit more saturation, and I think that really does have to do with the design. And if I could just put in my little piece, like just the visuals,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the big thing about this trailer, and that's why it was one of the most talked about things throughout this week. It's mainly because of the design improvement from before. Because this is one of the, probably the only, or one of the very rare occasions where the original, where like the visuals from before, they got so much backlash that they had to delay this movie until Valentine's Day 2020 in order to improve it, in order to give the design of Sonic something that's more visually appealing and something that stays more true to the original design. Because one thing that I want to mention before anybody forgets is the fact that this should have been released about a week ago. Like, we've already the release date was already passed, or at least the original release date, but because of that disastrous first trailer, there were so many complaints that Paramount and the people who made the movie had no choice but to do something about it. And that's the one thing that I definitely do applaud the team of what they have done here, is that they have tremendously improved the design of Sonic the Hedgehog. As I stated, he looks a lot like the original, and still, it still looks a bit like realistic and something that would belong in a big budget motion picture. It's a lot like the design of Pikachu, or like the Pokemon in Detective Pikachu, where they have a more realistic and a lot more textured look, but they still stay true to their original design. And there's a lot more benefits to having that improved Sonic look, is that not only Sonic looks better, but also a lot of the action scenes, they look a lot better. Like, now that we got a Sonic that looks great and that we can root for, now it makes the action scenes a lot more engaging, because for me, that's a little bit of the highlight of this trailer, is whenever we see Sonic try to run away from Eggman or try to mess up one of his machines, especially like the last piece of the a little bit at the end, where we see Sonic running on the Great Wall of China, and then he does his little Sonic blast, he throws his ring, and then like he would teleport to another place. Like, that I think is great. That I think they nailed beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
But with that said, though, when it comes to the rest of the trailer, I feel like it's just like, I'm not trying to be a hater here. I'm not trying to still be like, oh, Sonic is bad. It's just that, to be very honest, I feel like the rest of it, it's not that great. It's not terrible, but it's just when it comes to the movie aspect, that's where we don't really get that much of an improvement compared to what happened with the design. It's just the jokes, I feel like they're just meh. The story still feels a little bit cliched, where we got this E.T. Iron Man style plot, where like it's kind of like this buddy movie where this average Joe interacts with this supernatural creature, which in this case is Sonic. It's just, the writing element of it doesn't feel that engaging to me. Because the thing is, you got to keep in mind, I know a lot of people are praising this trailer, are loving the Sonic the Hedgehog movie right now because of the character design. And yes, I do applaud the visual effects team to actually work very hard in order to make those improvements. But the big catch to it is that while they did fix the biggest problem of the movie, the biggest problem is only a small aspect of the film itself, which is just the design of the character. Like, they didn't really do much in order to change a lot of the script and change a lot of like the characteristics of like the people that are in there and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I feel like, yeah, it's better, but it's not going to be much for me to say like, oh, this is going to be an epic movie, this is going to be worth watching, this is going to be the best movie of 2020. It's just, I don't know. Like, and also maybe it could be just me, because like I'm not that big of a Sonic fan as much as you would be, James, or like I guess at the most I would say like I'm a little bit of a casual fan. I've played some of the Sonic games, but from there, it's just yeah, like I would say I love the upgrade in terms of the design of Sonic, but that's really all that I can really like about it. You get where I mean by that?
Well, for starters, yes, you're the type of casual fan that will voice Sonic in Sonic X Abridged, which, by the way,
I almost forgot about that. Yeah, I did do that.
Second, big shout out to Tyson Hess, the designer, the designer from Sonic Mania Adventures, who was basically the one responsible for how well this redesign looks. 3, you're right about the story. It's still gonna hit a lot of the same buddy plot points and cliches. I still say they should have gone with just having Sonic in Sonic's world with his friends. But I think I think just this once, I might have to eat a little bit of crow and say, do it for the people involved because they were under such pressure to redo this and try to redo it properly, or at least patch things up. Jim Carrey's got some good lines in here. He's not Robotnik. He's Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
But
it's
if you're
Jim
gonna,
Carrey being Jim Carrey.
yeah, but it's that '90s side of Jim Carrey that everybody liked. Past tense liked. Whatever he's doing now, it's kind of wishy-washy. Um, Regardless, moving forward, what was I going to say? I listened to our old podcast on this topic before coming on to here, just to refresh what I said. I still maintain a small. I have to correct myself. On something. I said at one point, maybe theoretically, they had another Sonic design in the bag this whole time. I don't have any evidence to back that up. I couldn't make a court case out of that. So for that, I'm just gonna go ahead and toss it on the flame pile. I still think maybe a lot of the really early leaks were there for publicity, just to get people talking. But again, couldn't make a court case.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, oh, sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, go on.
Okay, yeah. No, I do get what you mean, because that's one thing that I've seen a lot of people circulate around the internet is regarding the possibility if the whole Sonic redesign and stuff like that, if it's nothing more but a publicity stunt. Like, I've seen a lot of arguments about that, and I mean, maybe there could be some truth to it. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be the first time that something like this would happen. I'm sure, like this would happen plenty of times and people have just never noticed. But at the same time, I have seen a lot of evidence in which that's actually not the case, where you got to keep in mind, just like what I said before, this was supposed to be released a week ago, and they've and I already saw on the internet that there have been plenty of different merchandising that they are ready to go and distribute to the public, like Sonic masks and Sonic figurines, like all based on the movie. And they were ready
merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Yeah, like legit Sonic the Hedgehog merchandising based on the movie with the original design, and now they got to scrap all that in favor of having the new Sonic design. So I feel like there could be a possibility of both, but then again, like, you never know with the internet. Like, it's easy to just quickly spread misinformation, and people take, like, whichever side they feel like they favor too seriously and stuff. So it is pretty much a bit of a mystery on that until we can get, like, full concrete answers onto what actually happened. But for now, the important thing to know is that, like, the old design is gone, and now we're gonna get this new design of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I want to go back to one of your previous statements that you said before regarding the element of, like, the whole buddy comedy thing. And I do like your idea that the focus should have been a lot more on Sonic and some of his friends, and you got Robotnik on the side trying to stop them, and less, like, we should have less of, like, a human side. Like, Sonic doesn't have to go to the real world or interact with this average Joe person that technically should be the avatar that audiences would relate to, as if, like, oh, what if I'm with Sonic and stuff like that. Because my problem with it is that, and I'm just going to make a quick prediction right now, that by the time the movie is going to be released and people are going to be discussing about the film, I feel like there's going to be a lot of strong comparisons to Detective Pikachu, because technically Detective Pikachu has already done some of that, where like, technically it is a buddy movie where you got, like, the average person, where in Pikachu's case you got Justice Smith, and then the supernatural talking creature, where we literally have a talking rodent based on a video game. where we got Pikachu, and it's a bit of the same thing here. So I feel like because of the writing, it's going to fall in that trap where we are going to see some unfavorable comparisons already. So maybe I could be wrong, but that's at least my prediction on that.
I'm looking up some of this merchandise right now. Haven't you always wanted to buy the Sonic pizza cutter?
What?
Gotta slice fast?
Is it like merchandise based on the movie?
I don't know if it's based on the movie, but it's apparently the first thing. I don't think it's based on the movie, but
Okay, yeah.
going to the according to this right here, it's one of the first things that they sell on the Sega shop.
Hold on a sec. Just need to go and just need to get this. All right, let me see this.
I see.
Okay, yeah, no, it's definitely not based on the movie, but I could definitely see what you mean. Okay, yeah, because like I was questioning, I was a bit questioning at first because like I would say, yeah, here it is, the Sonic pizza cutter, gotta slice fast. Because like we were talking about the movie, and I was thinking like, oh, what movie promotion wouldn't go without a freaking pizza slicer? Because I know Disney has to make top priorities to make Frozen 2 pizza cutters.
Oh yes, Oh, well, how did you know we've been selling those where I work?
I know.
Seriously.
I own 3 of them. Collect them all.
Let's see what else. I hear Puma they're still keeping their merchandising tie-in for the shoes. They got a possible pair of shoes coming out that's going to be designed to look like the shoes that Sonic wears in the movie. There's talks about that.
Of course. There's no talks. It's like, it's gonna happen. You know that's gonna be a major merchandising opportunity. And I mean...
And it looks nothing like this.
Of course, you gotta have some.
But
overall, your thoughts on the Sonic trailer?
I hear I think I saw something about Burger King having another tie-in with Sonic. Maybe have a Sonic-themed food menu. I just wanna say it. If they have the blue blurger, I'll go. I'll go. But regardless.
Oh god, is it gonna be? Oh, what was it? Is it gonna be like that nightmare thing, or it's like what was it? It's like some kind of Halloween themed Burger King Whopper that's like it's green and it's supposed to it's supposed to give you nightmares or something like that.
I just made that up. So
you never know, man. You know they could do it. I mean, it's not the first time that they try to put in weird colors on their burgers.
Sonic chili dogs. Yes, make it happen, chat room.
Oh, actually, I don't know. Oh, actually, come to think of it, I think I did hear that Sonic does have a promo deal. I think it's like with In-N-Out or something like that. And I remember that people are actually seriously outraged about it, mainly because of the fact that if Sonic has to do a fast food chain tie-in, then there's only one that they could go with.
With Sonic.
Exactly. That's why people are upset. It's like, why isn't Sonic with Sonics?
I want my Sonic on Sonic action.
Oh, on the internet that already exists. Especially with Sonic. Oh my god, James, it just reminds me. Did you... I don't know who made the cartoon. I don't know if it's like College Humor or Crackle or something like that. But there's this cartoon where Dr. Eggman unleashed a secret weapon where it's like some kind of hypno ray where in Sonic's mind, he's transported in the land of Rule 34. Have you ever seen that? Oh my god. It's nasty, but it's hilarious.
What is this? Second link to the chat here?
What?
Oh no, never mind.
No, I didn't put up anything.
Oh, that was weird. Something just popped up in my link. Anyway, my final thoughts on the trailer?
Yes. Going back to that.
It's good. just it's good. Why we didn't get this sort of thing in the first place, I'll never know. But it's an improvement. So that's that.
Yeah, I might be a little bit on the side. Well, I might be on your side with that. It's like, I do admit, yes, it is an improvement, and I definitely do applaud the visual effects team, the filmmakers, and Paramount for actually listening to the criticisms on the internet and actually provide a stronger and better design for Sonic the Hedgehog. I think that's really going to help the movie tremendously. But in regards to the movie itself, it's still not something that I feel like I'm 100% sold on. It's just, I don't know. It's just a lot of it just feels like it's meh. I mean, it's no longer a nightmare fuel, sure, but for now, it's just like it just feels meh. That's how I feel about it. It looks great, but the rest of the movie just feels eh.
Well, if Dan Swallow, aka the Sonic Guru, is hyped up on buying a ticket, then I'm in.
All right, fair enough, man. So with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and now it is your turn to go and explain what do you all think about the trailer for the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Are you guys now excited about it? Is the design enough to make you really want to go see it and really make you hyped up for it? Do you want to go check out the film? Do you not? Let me know what you all think. Oh boy, we got plenty.
We got essays here. I don't think we're going to be able to go through all this.
No. We do not go through. No, we will not go through all of it, man. We only pick a few and just go from there, man. Holy crap, we would be here freaking forever if all we do is just read the chat wall. Anyways.
Oh, the Sonic tie-in was with Jack in the Box, not.
Jack in the Box. That was okay. That was it. I knew it was something like In and Out or Jack in the Box or something like that. Anyways, Sonic the Hedgehog is my all-time favorite video game character, and to see him be redesigned is a breath of fresh air. I am also really excited for the movie for its tone and humor, which leaves me with feeling that it will be one of the best video game movies alongside Angry Birds and Detective Pikachu. Green Hill Zone also looks incredible. Hoping James Marsden has better luck with this than on Hop. And that is true. That is only something that you've mentioned while the trailer was playing. It did actually show Green Hill Zone, and it actually does look. It looks fantastic. Yeah, it looks beautiful. Like, they got a lot of the themings correct. Like, it does look like a legit, beautiful looking Green Hill Zone. So that's another great aspect that they nailed beautifully on. I think in the first trailer, we only got a little bit of a taste of something like Green Hill Zone. It's when we saw Jim Carrey, like, fully transformed into Dr. Robotnik, and, like, behind him were, like, the giant mushrooms and stuff. It's, like, probably some kind of...
That was weird.
Yeah, it was probably some kind of post-credit scene. But, yeah, that's another great aspect about the trailer, is that Green Hill Zone looks beautiful as well. Let's see. No offense. I think you're being, okay. No offense. I think you are being harsh on this movie. I don't expect this to be a Spielberg-style masterpiece. I expect it to be a fun buddy road trip movie, and there have been some good ones like Emperor's New Groove, and let's face it, this not worst thing Sonic has done.
Not worst thing Sonic has done.
I mean, which is worse, the movie or that time Sonic made out with a Final Fantasy princess reject? Okay, yeah, I know. Well, if you're gonna be making comparisons to like stuff like Sonic 06 or Sonic Boom, then yes, like, of course that's gonna be something where you're gonna say, well, yeah, the movie is gonna be better. But still, I'm just being honest. And I mean, I'm not saying that it's horrible. I'm just saying that the rest of it is just meh. Like, I don't know, the humor doesn't gel with me, the story doesn't gel with me. It's just like, eh.
Yeah.
I'm not being harsh. I'm just being honest.
You're entitled. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's see what else we got here.
Let's see. Oh, I got one. Alright, I'll admit it. This was a way better trailer than the last trailer. The design is way better, the jokes are better, and there's no gangsta's paradise. But I'm not digging into the story quite a bit, as the supersonic song they put in is cringe, but does make sense why they put it in this trailer, because this movie and song is about supersonic. Now I'm kind of looking forward to this movie. Well, I mean, okay, we didn't have Gangsta's...
Supersonic.
Okay, we didn't really have Gangsta's Paradise anymore, but I still think that they're kind of pulling off, like, the corny soundtrack thing when they added I.O. Let's Go. Like, really? They gotta go and do that thing?
The Blitzkrieg Bop?
Yeah. Yeah, they gotta add in the freaking
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, at that point, honestly, there are only two things that it makes me think of when they would play Blitzkrieg Bop. It's either Jimmy Neutron, or one of my favorite worst movies ever, Pan. Remember there was that one, you've seen Pan, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you remember?
We were all there when it happened.
Yeah. Remember when there was, like, the natives that were on the side and they were making their little chant? They were like, "Hey, oh, let's go, hey, oh, yes." And I kid you not, in the 2015 Pan movie, the chant of the natives is legit Blitzkrieg Bop, and that's tame compared to some of the other crazy things that happen in that movie.
Oh yeah, like Nirvana.
Oh my God, that is part of a masterpiece scene.
A masterpiece.
Oh my God.
So we have Caleb
Is this
making...
Canada?
Oh good God! For old time's sake, let's pull that scene out of your hair.
No, never. It is my scene. I love that scene. Alright, anyways,
Blitzkrieg Bop is best anime song.
It's best anime. Anyways, I think Sonic's new design is much better than the one we've had before. The design from the first trailer reminds me of something like Banjo and Kazooie's design from Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. But in this trailer, the design actually stays true to the original design of the video games. Thank you, Paramount, for listening to all of us. I also love Jim Carrey's performance as Dr. Robotnik. I can't wait to see this new Sonic movie in a few months. Yeah, that's
just to
definitely
be
true.
sure, just to make sure, it's Dr. Robotnik this time. It's not Eggman. We're going back to Robotnik.
Yes, we're going back to the OG, going back to Dr. Robotnik.
Fingers.
All right, so one more comment before we're gonna go and jump on to the next one. So let's see. Wow, a company that took fan criticism seriously and changed it. However, despite the nice character design improvement, is fixing a terrible design really going to improve this movie?
Partially.
The writing and story, in my opinion, is what is important too. Because with the trailer, I feel like they forgot that again. So in total, I think the character is better, but the trailer isn't better enough. And again, the writing and characters is going to be more important than the character design. That is definitely true. Definitely true.
So yeah, in regards to that, I just want to say there have been reshoots. They have mentioned that there have been reshoots. So at the very least, we can hope that there's been some improvement on that front.
Yeah, true. All right. So with that said, though, now it is time that we're going to go and jump to the next trailer. So, James, which one do you want to go next? Or more specifically, better question, which one do you want to save for last? Do you want to go Scoob or do you want to go SpongeBob?
For next up, let's try Scoob.
You want Scoob now?
Well, okay. Actually, now that I think about it, SpongeBob.
Okay, SpongeBob now. Okay.
Because I have something to say about this.
Oh, okay. You really want to get SpongeBob out of the way. So with that said, let's go ahead and now check out the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run.
Sponge on the run.
I love my life.
He's a sponge.
Oh, I love your sense of irony, Patrick.
Thank you. I love my sense of irony.
There's a trailer song that should have been in the Sonic movie.
Alright, James, so you really wanted to talk about this trailer in particular, more so than Scoob. So tell me, what's your thoughts?
Well, for starters, uh, mainly to tie in with the previous trailer, why do we have "Kickstart My Heart" in this trailer and not in the Sonic trailer? It's a speed-related song. Come on.
Well, then again, I mean, like, as someone pointed out, like, Sonic already has, like, the supersonic theme. Well, the super,
Mm-hmm.
like, supersonic, so I think that one fits more, I guess.
Well, yeah, but you said Blitzkrieg Bop. But anyway,
That's
anyway,
Sonic's problem. Now we're talking about SpongeBob.
now we're okay. This one, mind you, this is my relationship with SpongeBob. I've always respected SpongeBob as a cultural icon, in the same way that I would respect Alf or any other classic characters whose shows I only sporadically but never obsessively watched. Uh, so looking at this, I'm first off, I had no idea this movie was coming out because I just said, isn't didn't they say it was going to finally end?
Well, like, what do you mean?
What wasn't the show? Didn't the show finally get canceled, or
I never heard of that. I
you
don't know
never
where
heard of
you.
that?
No, I don't know where you got that.
Hmm. So they're making this. I guess it's their equivalent of The Simpsons. We have a franchise based on little yellow characters that never seem to know when to stop making the show. But I have to say this much about the trailer. At least we don't have to see SpongeBob's ass. Uh,
Because
we're
I'm
we're
sure we got plenty of those moments.
Yeah, what was up with that? What was up with that weird phase in Nickelodeon history where they just said, "Oh, we can't make a movie animated movie for kids anymore without showing somebody's ass." The Rugrats movies did that to death.
Well, we know the first SpongeBob movie, we've got plenty of butt shots.
Mm-hmm. And what was up with that? But regardless, maybe they
Nickelodeon
just
has
had
Nickelodeon has butt people.
they had a butts ass moment. Um, so um, I remember seeing the trailers for that one and saying, okay, it's they're using some live action tie-ins. It has David Hasselhoff. Looks like it's going to be harmless for the kids. Second movie, Sponge Out of Water. I remember watching your review on that, and you were complaining about or critiquing about how the trailers made it look like the whole aspect of them being out of water and suddenly in
Yes.
CGI was going to be the central focus of the film, which it was not. It was more like the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that's the problem with the marketing. They went a little too much on the CGI aspect where they try to make that as like kind of like the central focus or the main selling point of the movie when in actuality that only happened in the third act because it is mostly a 2D animated feature with a little bit of live action shots of evil pirate Antonio Banderas.
And so now we're given this, and I realize we've gone from traditional animation to full-on CGI, but at least they give it that stop motion look that works so well for other SpongeBob projects like the Halloween and Christmas specials that were made in recent years, which I actually did watch and enjoy. I can't particularly remember the entire plot to each one of them, but somehow that flushed away look works well within the confines of SpongeBob. So, um, I guess this looks like a decent outing with the kids. I'm probably not going to go see this because I'm not a huge fan. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, for me, just to have a quick recap, I was a major SpongeBob fan. Like, there was a time when SpongeBob was one of my favorite animated series, and like I used to watch it like religiously. But like most people, around like season 4 or season 5, I kind of gave up on it and moved on from it. But I did enjoy a lot of the SpongeBob stuff, and like a few of the recent things, especially especially the second film, Sponge Out of Water. I didn't really get back into SpongeBob. Like I still haven't seen like any of the new episodes or seen like the 20th anniversary special or anything like that. But I was a major SpongeBob fan, and I'll give you credit, James, that you are right that this does seem like it's going to be something that is going to be aimed more for kids, and that it's mainly the new generation of SpongeBob audiences that it's going to be the prime target to go and check this movie out. But I will say, for the stuff that they have shown, I'll admit that it actually is kind of charming. And first off, yes, the animation actually does look very legit. Like, now they are heavily promoting more the CGI elements, since now this is going to be an all CGI movie, which is going to correlate with like some of the upcoming SpongeBob projects, like the upcoming SpongeBob spin-off Camp Coral is going to be an all CGI movie. So this would be a little bit more of a test run. And also, speaking
Sonic
of which,
fans, sorry. It'd be like, oh yeah, SpongeBob fans, sorry, we sold out to full CGI.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say this. Say what you will about Camp Coral, rather if you support it or not. Like, I gotta admit, like, what we had here, like, that little bit of Camp Coral, like, it's SpongeBob meeting with Gary, like, that's adorable. Like, I gotta admit, that was actually a really cute scene. And it has its funny moments where we see SpongeBob meeting Gary. And, like, yeah, I know that it is very typical to see, like, the old gag of, like, SpongeBob being, like, really absorbent and then, like, sucking everything out. But for me, like, as a SpongeBob fan, I still find it to be cute. I still find that to be fun. And even, like, the whole Camp Coral aspect, I just find it to be, like, so cute. And if this is what we would get in the Camp Coral series, then honestly, I wouldn't be bothered by it. I would be down to and interested to see what they would have to offer for the series, actually. And as for the rest of it, going back into like the animation from before, it is true that it does have more of a stop motion feel to it. But I actually am highly impressed with the way that they really do stay true to the animation of the show. That it really is like taking the animation that you're used to from the series, but now translate it into CGI and make it and like do have some elements where they would show it in twos in order to give it a little bit of that stop motion feel, which is starting to be a little bit of a trend in recent computer animated features. Like the Lego Movie really has seemed to have started something here. But yeah, visually,
I actually forget what I said about Flushed Away. This is more like the Peanuts movie.
Yes, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does actually give out that feel that's very similar to the Peanuts movie. And on top of that, we also got like some funny, like we got like some unexpected and funny surprises. Like especially like one of the biggest highlights is the fact that we got freaking Keanu Reeves literally playing as a tumbleweed known as the Sage. Like that honestly is absolutely hilarious in there. And I mean, Keanu Reeves has really upgraded to becoming one of those celebrities where he cannot go wrong. Like, you cannot go wrong by adding in Keanu Reeves. And I mean, yeah, sure.
How did this happen?
Yeah, it seems ridiculous, but Keanu Reeves will find a way in order to really improve something. It's a lot like Toy Story 4. Like as that, oh crap, I forgot his name, but like as the Canadian motorcyclist. Oh my god, he was a hilarious character. Like, he really did help make Toy Story 4 such an amazing time. And I wouldn't be surprised...
He was the only actor that really stretched themselves in terms of performance in that film.
Yeah, Duke Kaboom. Exactly. So, I'm sure, like, adding in Keanu Reeves playing as this Sage you're going to be in for a good time. So I did like that they did add this. Now, the one criticism that I would have to it, if I would have to find something to go and criticize, is that it is true. Go on.
If I may say, does this mean that Neo finally became the Oracle?
Yes. This is the Oracle. A lot of people are excited for Matrix 4, but what they don't know is that this is Matrix 4. This is it.
Yeah.
He's not playing the Sage. He is Neo. But the one criticism that I would actually have about it, if I would have to find one, is that it is true that in terms of the plot, it does seem like they are recycling a lot from older SpongeBob properties. Like, the one that people will mention the most is, have you seen Gary, or Where's Gary? There is actually one episode in particular that was very highlighted either in season 3 or season 4, where Gary is missing and SpongeBob is trying so hard to try to find him. And there have been like a lot of other elements that it does seem like they're kind of copying from older episodes. Like, one example is apparently like they're driving, like you see the characters driving this big sandwich, which they have already done in the first movie, where you got the paddy wagon, but it looks like right here, it looks like they're driving this giant chicken parmesan or something like that, or like kind of like this long crabby patty. Which I will admit, yes, there are some elements that they have taken a lot from the older episodes, but then again...
Paddy wagon.
Or the yeah. But the one thing I will say about that, and one thing that I can find it to be a little bit excusable, is that, number one, this was something that they have already done as well in Sponge Out of Water, where they had, like, in that movie as well, they have taken plenty of elements from older episodes. And number two, we have already mentioned the fact that this is obviously targeted for a new generation of SpongeBob fans. You got to keep in mind that not everyone has grown up watching stuff like Where's Gary, or know, like, the elements that they have taken from before. So it's mostly for the kids who haven't seen that episode, or who haven't seen those episodes or the older movies and just recently got into SpongeBob. So on that aspect, I can find it to be a little bit excusable that they would go in that kind of direction. So I wouldn't necessarily blame them if they end up recycling a little bit of elements and try to expand on it to make it on a feature-length scale. Now, I could definitely trust I could definitely trust the people at Nickelodeon and the people working on the SpongeBob projects that they would find a way in order to really expand upon older ideas and try to really make them feel new and make them feel grand. So for them, I can give them a pass, and this does show some promise. So overall, with my thoughts, I feel like with the SpongeBob movie, it does look nice. I love the animation. It does look great. And it looks like it's a lot of fun. And I do actually like a lot of the... I actually do like a lot of the gags into it. I don't think it's going to be like a phenomenal animated feature. I don't think it's going to be like one of the top best animated films of the year. But I think this is going to be something that as an old SpongeBob fan, even though this is not necessarily made for like the longtime SpongeBob fans or stuff like that, I feel like this does have a lot of promise, and it does highlight what could it does show a bit of promise as well on what could possibly be the future of SpongeBob.
Yeah. As somebody mentioned in the chat, Camp Coral, and as a spin-off, saying it might be something with their deal at Netflix. You never know. I've actually seen some of the recent Netflix Nickelodeon special tie-ins and whatnot, like they did with the Invader Zim movie and Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Some of those were actually better than the shows they were attached to, or at least I think a little bit higher of them. But yeah, we'll sort of see where that goes.
Yeah, I think it's more like, I guess you would put it best, where I feel like, at least with the movie, I am a little bit optimistic, but there is still that part of me that is more like a bit of a we'll wait and see with how this is going to be. And if this is what we're also going to get with many of the other SpongeBob spin-offs, not just Camp Coral, but I did hear that there is a possibility that we could be getting a Netflix musical series starring Squidward. Honestly,
Musical series?
Well, more of a music-based series with Squidward. You know how he is with his clarinet. So, honestly, if this is also if this is also the direction of the SpongeBob spin-offs, then I think SpongeBob will have a pretty solid future. I wouldn't be too worried, at least in terms of the creative aspect. So, like I said, for me, we'll wait and see with how this is going to go, but I am pretty optimistic so far with what they are showing. I am liking with what they are presenting with Sponge on the Run.
Okay.
Alright.
There you go then.
Yep.
What do you think? Chatwall?
Yes, Chatwall. Now it is time that you will have your say on this, and I would like to know, what do you all think about the trailer for Sponge on the Run? Is this something that you guys would like to check out? Are you not as impressed by it? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's not? Let me know what you all think. Let's see here.
Be right back.
All right, I'll go and read some of the comments. Let's see here. As a major SpongeBob fan, I gotta say this looks like a ton of fun. The animation looks incredible with a bit of a Peanuts movie-esque flair, though nowhere near as good. Keanu Reeves' cameo is nothing short of breathtaking. Insert rim shot here. And the idea presented here, and the ideas presented here are quite imaginative. But in terms of story, allow me to sing you to a little song. Yeah, Gary, now I know. Gary, now I know I was wrong. I messed up and now you're gone. Oh my gosh. Man, it's been a while since I've heard that song. Where's Gary? Okay. Alright, let's see here. Hot damn, the animation in this movie looks amazing and reminds me a lot of the Peanuts movie. Also, since this movie feels like a bigger version of the episode Have You Seen This Snail? That's the episode. I'm just gonna paraphrase Patrick. If this movie does not have his own version of the song Gary Come Home, things are gonna get crazy. And now we start the intro all over again. Actually, you know what? No, let me redo that. If this movie does not have its own version of the song Gary Come Home,
Things are gonna get crazy.
I just had to do that. Okay. Alright, let's see. I grew up with SpongeBob, and this looks like fun, though. I don't know if I'm going to watch it since I don't watch SpongeBob that often since I was in high school. I thought I'd hate the CGI animation, but I kind of like it. Now, if only Nickelodeon produced Tintin 2 and Sector 7, which is a family film by Darren Aronofsky, who did Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, Noah, and Mother. The movie has been development hell since 2000s. I want it because I want to see that for a family. Okay, Tintin 2, I definitely agree. Sector 7, I don't know.
Yeah, we're overdue for another Tintin movie, guys. Come on.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Was that Nickelodeon?
Tintin? Yes, actually. Believe it or not.
It's such a not Nickelodeon movie.
I know, it seems strange, but yeah, it's kind of like a mishmash of like different companies working together. Like, it's not just Spielberg and Peter Jackson, but it's like we got Paramount, we got Nickelodeon, we got Sony mixed into the mix. Like, it's a weird mishmash of like different companies and people, but it turned out to be absolutely beautiful. Let's see now.
Klusner says, it looks good, I will give it that, but it's still Nick's Frozen. It's a one-trick pony that will never stop. Until we get to Frozen 2.
Well, that's going to be coming out next week, and I mean, like, after the crap that I've went through, like Arctic Dogs and Maleficent 2, I'll need it.
It'll at least be an improvement.
Alright. This plot looks too similar to the episode Have You Seen This Snail, along with some elements from the first SpongeBob movie. Although it's executed in a way that seems enjoyable. Also, what a coincidence since both this trailer and the Scoob trailer both feature a scene where it shows a younger version. Oh, we're going to be seeing that later. Also, Wasn't this film originally titled It's a Wonderful Sponge? If so, good. I hate It's a Wonderful Sponge type of story. Yes, actually that is true. The original title was It's a Wonderful Sponge, but this week they actually did officially change it to Sponge on the Run. I guess they're kind of backing away a little bit from the original plan of making it all a whole prequel. Let's see. I'll just read one more, and then we're going to jump on to our next story. Or the next trailer, actually. I'm interested in this movie, even with the have you seen this snail vibe. I do like the art style 3D with 2D feel-like elements similar to Spider-Verse and Peanuts. The only thing I didn't like about it is SpongeBob's younger voice. Why not let Tom Kenny do that voice? He's capable of doing child voices. He's even voiced Baby SpongeBob in episodes like Truth or Square and Goo Goo Gas. It makes me wonder about the voice actor choice of SpongeBob in the upcoming Camp Coral series, Poor Steve H. Well, I mean, the voice acting, I wouldn't necessarily blame them. If they want to go like SpongeBob being a kid, then like why not have a kid be the voice, you know? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be always consistent with just keeping Tom Kenny. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it would be a bit too much for Tom Kenny to just be doing SpongeBob over and over. At least, like, maybe give him a break. And, you know, why not get a kid voice actor? In fact, like, I don't mind the voice actor in this. I think he actually did pretty well. I don't know about you. I like the kid in this.
I didn't have any complaints.
Yeah,
Camp Coral. SpongeBob is sleepaway camp.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. So, with that said, though, now we have only one more trailer to go and check out. And ironically, it's the first one that was released amongst the entire batch. So, now that we got that taken care of, it is now time that we are going to go and look into the final trailer in which we shall go and see Scoob.
Oh, it's about to start. You ready? Popcorn? Butter? Nachos? Cheese? Root beer with red liquor? Right here.
Maybe this can lead us to Scooby and Shaggy. Trace amounts of mustache oil, 12-year-old scotch.
Ugh, is the bad guy my dad?
So, yes, that is the trailer of Scoob. So, James, how do you feel about this one?
You see, Paramount, this is what you do when you release your first trailer. This is how you do it. You show them something that resembles your product. You show them something that resembles what matches up with the franchise, which, as of this year, is, 50 years old? Or was that last year?
No. This year, actually, they turned... Scooby-Doo did turn 50.
So... there you go. What we have here is something that's definitely palatable. I do on the nitpick side of things. I have to wonder a few things here and there. One, I was never a fan of Scooby's vocabulary improving over the years. That's the only thing that always seemed a little bit out of character. Was just like as soon as Mystery Incorporated started, they had him asking all the intelligent questions, and I'm like, what? You're just supposed to be the silly one, right? And two, they got their celebrity voice cast in there again. I still get a better vibe than the last time we tried a Scooby-Doo movie in theaters with a celebrity cast. Far better. But you already have Frank Welker on board reprising Scooby. The same guy who's been playing Fred ever since the first show. So why they have Zac Efron coming in and doing the role for Fred here? I'm not entirely sure. The rest of them, they just sort of sound like the rest of the voice actors and actresses. They just sort of sound like themselves in the role. The guy, is it another case where we're gonna get a film where Scooby and Shaggy are the only ones adequately represented?
Well, actually, the thing is with Shaggy, like even he is a celebrity voice. Like only Frank Welker was signed on board to do it. Shaggy, I believe, is voiced by Will Forte in this case.
Hmm. Yeah, but at least he sounds the role. Not the rest of them, they don't quite sound the role. Like Amanda Seyfried, uh, something about her just does not sound like Daphne. That's a small nitpick. We still have something mushy here, which I can appreciate. This looks like establishing the they're establishing the relationship between Scooby and Shaggy, how they first met, and they've got that nice little song playing in the background. I'm just like, oh, it's retconning a pup named Scooby-Doo, but oh well.
You gotta make some sacrifices, you know.
This is a franchise that retcons itself every time the sun rises.
Yeah, exactly. But I gotta say, for me, honestly, I like, and just to give myself a little bit of a background here, when I was a kid, I used to be like a major Hanna-Barbera fan. Like I would often watch Boomerang and check out a lot of the old Hanna-Barbera shows, and Scooby-Doo was definitely one of them that I would often watch. And by watching this, like, holy crap, this is a great first impression.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is actually really good. And one thing that I want to start things off by saying is that, like, I know this is not necessarily the first time that something like this would happen, but it is extremely rare that we would see a Scooby-Doo property where they would present a lot of heart. Like, in this trailer, like, it really does go a lot into the origin of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo and how they've met. Pretty much like what we just saw with SpongeBob and how he met Gary in Camp Coral. Like, that was a nice tender moment in that trailer. And in this one, like, this one I feel like it's definitely better. This is not to knock against what they did in Sponge on the Run, but this one, it's like, it really did highlight that it is it's a heartfelt moment, especially like when we got Shaggy trying to figure out the name of Scooby-Doo, and it's like it's actually because of the Scooby snacks why,
not the other way around.
Yeah, why his name is actually Scooby, which is great. And probably one of my favorite moments in the trailer is actually when Shaggy would give Scooby his official signature collar. Like, it's such a heartfelt moment. It's just beautiful. Like, oh my god, I just love it. Now, like, my only piece of major criticism would be, like, okay, maybe this scene feels like a little bit too much foreshadowing with what could possibly be to come in the movie. Like, there's a possibility there could be this one scene where we got, like, Shaggy and Scooby breaking up and Scooby will throw out his collar or something like that. Because, like, even Scooby said, like, somewhere, like, I think
I'll never take it off.
I think it's like,
Never take it off.
yeah. It's like, yeah, I think that's gonna happen, like, just to have, like, that little heartbreaking scene. But still, this little piece of, like, young Shaggy and Scooby, I think it's just absolutely adorable and very heartfelt. Yeah, and also, another thing I love, the animation is freaking fantastic here. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, holy crap! It is it's very rare that I would say this, but holy crap, we got high quality Hanna-Barbera animation. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's great. Like, it still stays true to the Hanna-Barbera design, the Hanna-Barbera style, but the animation, like, the quality here, is just great. And I love how they how they upgraded many of the characters here. They actually do look, a lot of them, like Shaggy and Scooby, they still stay true to their original designs, to the original characters. Now, I will admit, the only one that I had problems with is actually Fred at the beginning. Like, when we first saw his design, he did look a little bit weird, but then you also got Daphne and Velma. They look fantastic as well. And I think, honestly, like, after seeing this trailer, I feel like I can get used to Fred's new design. Like, it's not that bothersome as before. So, honestly, like, with the visual style, it looks great. And also, what I do like about it, what they don't show in this trailer, is the foreshadowing of more Hanna-Barbera characters to come. Because, of course, like, we got the ending bit where Shaggy and Scooby are in the Blue Falcon's lair. And technically, like, the Blue Falcon is, like, supposed to be represented as, like, Shaggy and Scooby's heroes. But also, we got another foreshadowing, and it's actually right at the beginning, is, like, this thing. The giant freaking spaceship or something like that. This is a foreshadowing of Dick Dastardly.
Shh. Yeah, I'm looking at the cast list for this, and I'm just like, this is some sort of Hanna-Barbera shared universe that they're setting up here with and they're not and it's not just those characters either. They got the how's this the fact that they got so many celebrity voice actors to do these classic roles. We got Mark Wahlberg playing the Blue Falcon, Ken Jeong is playing Dynamite. Tracy Morgan as Captain Caveman.
I want to see what they're gonna do with this. Oh my
Captain
god.
Caveman to the rescue!
I do enjoy Captain Caveman in some of the spin-off series. I don't think I've seen much of the Captain Caveman show, but in some of, like, the spin-offs, like the Laugh Olympics and stuff like that, I really do enjoy Captain Caveman, and I want to see how they pull it off, especially with Tracy Morgan. Like, that's gonna be a unique twist onto that.
Jason Isaacs is Dick Dastardly. That guy's practically a Shakespearean-trained actor right here.
He's gonna pull it off beautifully. Like, I have no concerns on that.
It's like, don't you know I was the one of the evil dads in the Harry Potter movies. Exactly. I can really do this. I can ham this roll up.
Oh, exactly. But, you know, you do actually bring up something that's very interesting, and it's something that's often been repeated that I do see in the chat wall as well. And I think, like, if we are going to be discussing about Scoob, then we do have to bring up probably the most controversial aspect of the movie itself, and that is going to be regarding the voice actors. Because ever since this was first announced earlier this year, like, the movie did receive some significant backlash of the fact that Warner Brothers would go with a celebrity voice cast instead of just sticking to the usual actors that have been playing Scooby-Doo, that have been playing the Scooby-Doo characters for so many years. The fact that, like, they would keep Frank Welker but not have him be voiced as Fred, or that they wouldn't bring people like Grey DeLise or bring in Matthew Lillard to go and reprise their roles, and instead just get shafted for a celebrity voice cast. And I mean,
I thought you were gonna mention the lack of Fred's ascot, but oh well.
Well, I mean, like,
he looks naked without it. I can get over it.
You know, that I don't freaking care about that ascot. That thing had to go anyways. But and I mean, like, it's not the first time that we've seen Fred without the ascot. But anyways, going back into the celebrity voice cast thing, like, I do understand, like, this is something that is not new. We know that Hollywood would do this all the time, and it does highlight a topical issue regarding getting voice actors to do voices in animated features and Hollywood replacing them with celebrities. Like, that can be, like, a whole discussion in itself. And I'm not that surprised that not many people are immediately cool with some of the new voices. Like, I will admit, yeah, it is true that people like Daphne and Shaggy don't necessarily sound like their usual selves that we're often used to hearing, but I think, honestly, this is something that I would count as a bit of a minor issue. Like, it does happen all the time whenever there's a new voice, then, like, people are not going to be immediately on board. Like The Simpsons, for example, they just got Grey DeLisle replacing the late Russi Taylor to play characters as Sherry and Terry and Martin Prince. And so far, so far the reactions is that people are not necessarily liking it because it doesn't sound the same as before, but I think that's just something that we would have to get used to. And by the time the movie would be released, all it needs is just, like, keep watching the movie, and then, like, we might get used to it. Because, after all, one thing that can explain it is the fact that we are seeing a reboot of, well, not just Scooby-Doo, but basically kind of like a whole reboot of Hanna-Barbera, because that's kind of like the whole point, is that this is meant to open like a whole Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. And that's why we have more than just Scooby-Doo characters in this. That's why we got characters like Dick Dastardly, Blue Falcon, and Dynamite, and Captain Caveman. So that's
been confirmed. They are trying to open up something new, some sort of cinematic universe with this, and just. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of like the big goal here.
Where's the CGI Tom and Jerry movie?
Okay. Actually, that is going to be coming. They did reveal that it is going to be coming in late 2020. It's going to be this live action CGI hybrid.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
speaking of which, just looked at the director of this movie. It's the director of this is Tony Cervone. Now, if you don't know who that is, he previously worked and directed with Spike Brandt on the TV series Tom and Jerry Tales, and was also partly responsible for a number of the direct-to-video Tom and Jerry films that came after.
But he did do some like theatrical work as well. Well, movies that have been released in theaters. He was like one of the directors of animation in Space Jam, I believe. Am I correct?
Maybe. And no, he did not direct the Willy Wonka. That shit. But yeah, as an animator, yes, his credits go on beyond that. Definitely, The Karate Guard. Oh wow, he was in McGee and Me. I didn't. Wow, that's a thing. He previously did Tiny Toons. Yeah, Space Jam. He was an animation director.
There we go. I knew it. I know that name is familiar.
So that, yeah, he only produced the Willy Wonka deal, but he made a wise career choice here to take on the directing role of this. Spike Brandt, I don't think, is going to be quite as lucky in the future, unless they stay buddies.
Yeah.
So.
No, but I will say, so far, when it comes to what they have presented here with Scoob, honestly, I'm all on board on this. So far, like, yeah, there are some minor issues, like maybe with some of the voices, and maybe, like, it seems a little too obvious that they could be foreshadowing elements of, like, what's going to happen later in the movie. But so far, I love the animation of it. I love the heart of it. And it does look like something that it'll bring us on board for something that could be like a great time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do these guys think?
Actually, before we get into that, James, now I just want to do a whole summary of all that we have seen. So, James, I want to ask you, among all the trailers that we have seen, which one would you say is your favorite? Or at least, which one do you think is the best trailer among all of them?
That's hard to say. With the Sonic movie, it's they are playing out the fan service definitely with the new music choices and everything. They're throwing in the stuff that they say, oh well, fans will want to see this or hear this or what have you. We're gonna try and improve this. That's it. It's a patch up of what we previously saw. SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run, it looks decent, but it's attached to a property that I don't quite have an emotional attachment to. Scoob, on the first impression, has has made a major impact. So if I had to judge these just by presentation alone, it would probably be Scoob first place, Sonic second place, close, and then SpongeBob is somewhere down here.
Interesting.
So
yeah,
everyone's saying.
Yeah, I would say that my pick is actually a little bit more different. Like Scoob, full on, I would say is the best trailer among all of them. But
That's why I picked it for last year.
Yeah. Good choice, man. But then I would say that in terms of the others, SpongeBob for me would be my second, and because of the criticisms I do have with the Sonic movie trailer, that would be my third. But interestingly enough, I did go on social media and I asked that question among everyone else, and I went all across like Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube, and I did get some interesting results. So if we could just go and check things out. So I'll start things off on Facebook. And apparently, like, I did do a little bit of a poll, but it's like if you like this, or heart if you like that, or happy laughing face if you like that. And among 120 votes, or the 120 participants, it seems that Scoob ended up getting the most with 49 of them, followed by Sonic in second place with 39 votes, and SpongeBob not far behind with 32 votes. However, if we go on Twitter, that's a different story.
That lines up with me.
But then we got a little bit of a different story with some of the other ones. Now, on Twitter, among 574 votes, believe it or not, Sonic the Hedgehog ended up getting the most with only 38% of the votes. And the other ones are actually not that far behind, where SpongeBob and Scoob ended up getting tied with 31% each. And then, finally, the one on YouTube, and this is the big one, the one that actually did get the most votes. Let me just refresh just in case if we got more new votes on this one. Just give it a second. There we go. So yes, this is from 1,900 votes, believe it or not. And it's kind of the opposite of what we got. Out of the 1,900 votes on YouTube, Sonic the Hedgehog ended up getting the most votes with 53% of them. And the rest, well, they nearly got tied. SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run, ended up getting 24% of the votes, while Scoob only got 23%.
Yeah, okay, yeah. On YouTube, people are really hyped about the Sonic movie.
Oh, absolutely.
So
that's just a little statistic that I did want to share out to see like which one people really seem to get excited the most about.
Yeah, I guess this is how I guess it depends on where the fan bases line up specifically. Maybe I'm definitely more of a Facebooker.
Yeah,
but
that
anyway.
could be the case. But with that said, let's go into the chat wall, and now it is time for your say on this. What do you all think about the Scoob trailer, and also, which of the 3 trailers that we have seen is your favorite? Did you like Scoob, did you like Sonic, or did you like SpongeBob? Let me know in the chat wall right now. So, let's see. Let's see now. We got, I do enjoy the idea of Scooby was named after the Scooby snacks instead of the other way around, though I have to disagree with Scooby's idea of what an IKEA looks like. As any Swede like me would tell you, it is nothing more than an endless maze filled with an infinite amount of furniture that once you enter, you cannot escape. So
it is unfortunately quite true.
So yeah, we got a Swedish expert that's like, let me tell you about IKEA, Scoob, because obviously you've never been to an IKEA. Right.
Yes, Swedish IKEA experts, take a drink.
Hey, dude, it's always great to have an IKEA expert. We need to have a Swedish IKEA expert in our lives, so I'm glad that we have this person here in the chat wall. He's a great addition to our team. Let's see. This trailer is hands down my favorite. It definitely has a lot of heart with Shaggy and Scooby. The animation looks great with how they transition from hand-drawn to computer animation. Again, the scene where Shaggy first meets Scooby is reminding me too much of the SpongeBob trailer with SpongeBob and Gary. I like some of the jokes in the trailer, especially at the scene where Velma is investigating the hair of the bad guy. Also, will you title this episode the S trailers? No, I already got a name in mind. Like, it will be related to a lot of S's, but I got something else. Don't
Oh my
worry.
goodness, you're right. It is a triple S.
Exactly. We got Scoob, we got Sonic, and we got SpongeBob. Let's hope that this Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe works out better than the Dark Universe and Warner's own Guy Ritchie's King Arthur universe with Legends of the Sword. Oh god, that was supposed to be a cinematic universe? What a joke.
Wait, what was that?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know about this. It was actually a couple of years ago. Guy Ritchie put out this movie that's based on King Arthur. It was like this big budget blockbuster film, and it ended up becoming one of the biggest box office bombs ever. Like, I think it lost upwards
that
of
thing?
like it lost upwards of like $100 million.
And he followed that up by making an Aladdin remake.
Pretty much. If he needed to regain his reputation, just go to Disney and just make something that everyone knows will make money no matter what.
I gotta get back my reputation.
Well,
let's
it was
see,
it was either that or make another Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh god.
All right.
So, oh yeah, Johnny Quest is a there's a movie.
A Johnny Quest movie? Well, I mean, to be fair, they tried to do that for so long and nothing ever came out of it.
Oh, somebody mentioned it. No, I mean, somebody mentioned it in the chat here. Maybe we could get that as a spin-off of this if they're trying to do a cinematic universe.
Oh yeah, no, like it could give them an opportunity to do so, but holy crap, I'm not surprised if Warner Brothers is not fully in the mood because they've tried so hard to try to make that thing happen, but nothing ever came out of it. But making a Johnny Quest movie, like, it's not a bad idea. But for now, I guess the closest thing we do have is just Incredibles 2 when Dash was watching Johnny Quest at one point. And it did happen.
Actually, I was going to say Tom and Jerry Meet Johnny Quest, which was actually not a bad direct-to-video film. But anyway.
Let's see. Oh, we got another IKEA problem. The IKEA joke confused me. Are they trying to say that IKEA is taking over the world, or Apple and IKEA are joining together and they did make this they made Fred's chin as big as the Evil Dead guy, or oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. Someone short-circuited one of the people in the chat wall with the IKEA joke. All right. Let's see.
The power of the Bruce Campbell chin compels you.
Yeah. The trailer for me definitely gives me some good nostalgia of old Scooby-Doo. The animation is just great, and I appreciate them for getting Frank Welker to voice Scooby. And the voice acting ain't too bad. Also, my favorite highlight for the trailer is mostly the backstory of how Shaggy met Scooby. I think they should have used Best Friends by Harry Nilsson for the backstory part. It would have worked perfectly. And for my ranking for the trailers, Sonic, SpongeBob, and Scoob. Okay, that's nice.
It looks like, what was that, a Avicii song that they played in the background?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't recognize it, honestly.
That must have been a very, that must be as a bittersweet little homage.
Probably. And I'll do one more comment here before we're going to jump onto the two stories that we do have. For Scoob, the focus does seem to be on the Shaggy and Scooby relationship and how the gang got together. Even in CG, it looks like the show, and given all the stuff that has come out in the past few years, this looks promising, though I would still like to see a series that more follows the tone of the supernatural, the best of the three. All right, that's definitely nice.
Oh, hopefully whatever it is, it doesn't follow up what happened with Return to Zombie Island.
Oh God, yeah, definitely. All right. Whoop, go on.
I just watched. Yeah, I didn't even touch that. I just watched Toon Grin's review on that. I'm like, why?
Because we're at the point. You know, the thing is that we're at the point that with the Scooby-Doo direct-to-DVD movies, we're at the point where they have no other ideas, and now they're trying to cash in on nostalgia. Not just with Zombie Island, but also like they did that 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo movie.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're just trying to cash in on nostalgia. But anyways, now that all the trailers are done, it is now time to actually talk about some animation news. And the first one that we have to go and talk about, of course, is probably the biggest thing that happened this week, the release of Disney Plus. James, are you registered to do you have Disney Plus yet?
No, I'm not planning on it. I hope I didn't lose any coolness points just by saying that. But
get out!
Get out! Here's the thing. I'm already subscribed to Netflix Prime, and I'm borrowing Shudder from Morgan. So
okay.
I've already got all these other streaming services. This would just be another one to add on top of that. And from what I heard, is it true? Okay, so they started off with a $6.99 monthly deal, but they're already planning on jacking it up by another $10.
I did not hear that at all. I don't know where you got that, but for me,
somebody on Facebook said something about that, so
I don't know.
yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, like I know that there is like a bigger package where you can get 13. I believe it's like 12 or 13.99 a month, where you would get Disney Plus and then Hulu Premium and ESPN Plus. But other than that, I never heard of a price increase.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, with the factor, now that Disney Plus is officially released, the first thing that I do want to bring up, actually, is regarding one story that I did talk about last week that, fortunately, I was actually wrong about, because last week I talked about that there seemed to be this confirmation that Disney would remove the crows from the original Dumbo movie, but it actually turns out to be fake news, which it's one of the very rare moments that I am so glad to actually be wrong about something, and that they did keep it, and even in the description, even in the details, they did advise that, like, they just put up a little bit of a warning that they would include some, like, they're showing it in its original vision, and that there might be a bit of, like, some outdated cultural elements onto, like,
AniMat's, you are fake news. Anyway.
Oh, God. Yeah, thanks, Donald. But, yeah, the good thing is that that's actually fixed right now, so that is not an issue. However, that's not going to stop people from complaining about some of the other problems. Now, let's just say that the release of Disney Plus is not necessarily perfect, and there are some bugs, and some people have reported that they're having a hard time to even access Disney Plus, which I don't necessarily blame them, because it's
crashing all over the place.
Oh yeah, like even like I can play it on my phone and I can play it on my iPad, but for some reason I can't even play anything on Disney Plus on my Mac. For some reason it would just not let me, period. But that's not the thing that we're talking about here. We're talking about the biggest problem so far that Disney Plus has, and that's regarding The Simpsons. Now, the big thing... Oh, schnut. Hold on a sec. I forgot to get the link, actually.
Be right back.
Hold on. Okay, yeah. It's not that bad of a problem, James. Okay, anyways, yeah, just need to go and get that story. Okay, there we go. So, the big problem with The Simpsons is actually the factor that they're not showing The Simpsons in its entirety. And what I mean by that is that they're not showing the early episodes in the correct aspect ratio. Now, what I mean by that is that in the old episodes of The Simpsons, or at least from the first episode all the way up to the middle of season 20, they would show it in full screen, meaning that they would just show it like in a box. But on the release of Disney Plus, they actually showed it in widescreen on 16.9 aspect ratio, meaning that they actually cut parts of the top and parts of the bottom, which would actually result in a serious issue, which there's one person who highlighted a serious problem with that. And let me just go on Facebook, on Twitter actually. Someone on social media pointed out that the issue with it, where full screen, you would have like, you would have the full picture, and then widescreen, the biggest problem with it is that sometimes it would actually cut out some of the jokes. Like, one example is that you see Homer and the gang, they're at the Duff Brewery, and they're showing this one element where they would show like all the beer that's going in 3 different boxes on Duff, Duff Light, and Duff Dry. But the joke is that
it's all the same beer.
Yeah, on top they show that it's actually all a part of the same beer. But with the widescreen, that joke is not shown, which results in a major problem, which actually cuts out the actual joke. And that's that's kind of the big issue why the aspect ratio thing is a massive problem for Disney Plus. So of course, Disney did get a lot of complaints out of it. So much so that just yesterday, the day before that we're recording this right now, they had to go and address the issue that they promised that in early 2020 they're going to go and fix the problem. So reading from my source here on The Verge, Disney released this statement by saying, "We presented The Simpsons in 16.9 aspect ratio at launch in order to guarantee visual quality and consistency across all 30 seasons. Over time, Disney Plus will roll out new features and additional viewing options. As part of this, in early 2020, Disney Plus will make the first 19 seasons and some episodes from season 20 of The Simpsons available in their original 4.3 aspect ratio, giving subscribers a choice of how they prefer to view the popular series."
Now, the first part of that... Okay, so the first part of that statement, I just want to say, in order to guarantee visual quality and consistency among the first 19 seasons, does that mean that they're going to completely reanimate the first season?
No, I don't think so, because, well...
Exactly. So, the reason why I wanted to bring this up altogether is because of the technical aspect of it. I'm not a huge Simpson nut either, but I do know a thing or two when it comes to these sorts of remasters. They've done HD remasters of older shows, plenty. They re-released the Munsters in Blu-ray form or HD, whichever. And that looks great, but even though they stuck to the 4:3 ratio, which is what for some of those shows, yeah, you're supposed to do, because that's not just how it was shot, but according to the film stock, that's how it should look. Now now moving forward, the first time I ever heard of a show getting an HD remaster that worked, that actually improved, was Star Trek: The Next Generation. And in that particular case, when they remastered that show for Blu-ray, they said, okay, so the TV show was for a 4:3 ratio, but we went back and we looked at the original film stock and we realized, you know what, there was this was at a time when they were definitely still cropping it down. There was a lot more information around the edges that they could still work with. So you are getting more of the image on either side there. That's why that works. it doesn't destroy the framing, and they did that sort of thing as well for Pee-wee's Playhouse, Friends. I think Cheers has also gotten a similar treatment. I saw that on Netflix. I didn't have too much of a complaint about it, but when you do something like this, where you're going to revamp a 4:3 show into a 16:9 aspect ratio, you need to say that you can show more of the image. When they do stuff like this, it's examples I can think of are the one time I got Banjo the Woodpile Cat on DVD and the tops and the bottoms were chopped off, or even more infamously was when the Jungle Book 2-disc DVD set came out, and my mom said, "Oh, let's get that because the nieces are gonna love it." And then we buy it, and it was the chopped feet and heads rendition, as it was so lovingly referred to. It really doesn't look right. So this is supposed to be a lesson moving forward to all people who are responsible for these remasters. There are do's and don'ts for this sort of thing, and now that we've moved up into HD, and pretty soon sooner than we think we're going to be streaming stuff in 4K. That's my prediction. Don't cut it off. If you can't make it look better, don't cut it off.
Yeah, I do I do understand in terms of the technical aspect, and I will say that in terms of the perspective of a Simpsons fan, I could definitely understand where the anger is coming from, why they're really upset regarding this, because this is not the first time that they had to deal with this. Because even long before Disney Plus, they had to deal with the Simpsons being cropped out like this. When FXX has revealed that they would be showing all the Simpsons episodes, they had the issue as well of being completely cropped in 60.9 aspect ratio. And then there's also the Simpsons world, in which you can go online and watch whatever Simpsons episode you want. They also did the same thing. They presented The Simpsons just like that. And I think the focus was mainly they wanted to present it all in HD, but they kind of also messed a bit of the aspect ratio in order to present that HD remastered version. So it was kind of a flaw in the process. And for Simpsons fans, they were really hoping that maybe for Disney Plus they would fix that issue, because that's one of the big selling points of Disney Plus in general. That's one of the biggest reasons why people would want to go and get Disney Plus in the first place. They want to go and have a streaming service where they can watch all the Simpsons episodes from the first one all the way to the recent episodes that they're putting out on television. Whenever they want to watch it, whenever they want, wherever they want. And they're hoping that maybe Disney would get it right, but they were pretty much upset to see that no, this issue has not been fixed. But at the same time, I do see a little bit of Disney's perspective in this, of what they want to try to do, because the big thing for them is to present everything in a great quality. They want to present it in the best quality they can with every single show that they have, and they want to focus on trying to release everything in this 1080p or even 4K kind of quality. And for now, and they've already have tens of thousands of shows and movies that they got to go and handle and try to remaster to make it look better. So with The Simpsons, it is a little bit of a rushed job, that maybe they didn't think of it all the way through, thinking okay, there's already HD versions of old episodes, so why not go and take that? So they decided to go and just take those episodes from Simpsons World and FXX and just put it onto Disney Plus, which is why we are seeing a little bit of the frustrations right now about the aspect ratio. So I do understand a little bit of both sides, but yeah, I do agree that this is Disney messing up a little bit. But on the bright side, at least they are aware of the issue and that they will go and fix the problem. Now, it is going to be a bit of a big job and a big responsibility to do. I don't know if if they're still going to go and release it in 1080p, or maybe just go with the DVD quality and release it in 480p, but at least just have it in widescreen. So it is going to be a complicated issue, and I'm sure it's a big task for Disney to go and try to fix up if they want to go and address that issue to satisfy customers. But yeah, it's a bit of like a two-sided thing that I do understand, but I do get why this is controversial and why people are really upset, especially when this is one of the biggest selling points of the streaming service in the first place.
Yeah, if they really want to fix this, I just say go full frame 1080p. I have no problem with that. It'll still be clean. You don't have to have 100% visual consistency among all episodes. Just don't chop off Marge's hair any more than you need to.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, even in the full, even in like the 4.3 aspect ratio, they'll always find a way to chop Marge's hair. Let's be honest. That's a lost cause.
Homer, how do you like my new do?
Oh God.
Homer, I have no hair. I'll be bald just like you.
But Marge, where's your blue hair? Who will have your blue hair? Woo! Now I have the blue hair.
Now the carpets match the drapes.
Oh, God. But Marge, I don't like the drapes.
Oh, you've been dealing with it for the last 20 years.
30 years.
30 years, that's right.
Yeah.
How long has this show been going?
30. It's been 30 this year. And still feels too frickin' long if you ask me.
Yeah, it's right up there with South Park. When is this show gonna end?
Yeah. And we thought SpongeBob was lasting too long.
Oh, SNL's lasted longer than that.
Yeah, true. Alright, so I think we've pretty much got our fill and our say on The Simpsons. So with that said, I'd like to go into the chat wall, and I want to ask, what do you all think about The Simpsons controversy with Disney+? Is this something that you guys agree with? Are you guys a bit frustrated or disappointed with the way that they're presenting The Simpsons? Do you hope Disney is going to be fixing that issue? If that statement is actually true, that it will be solved by early 2020, let me know what you all think. Let's see.
I think somebody in the chat mentioned their HD remaster for the Garfield and Friends introduction that was released a while ago.
Oh, God. I know
that looked like a bad fan project.
God, yes, that was a disaster.
David Rose could have done a better job.
Yeah, oh my God, he so would. Let's see. I appreciate Disney listening to fans after they have legit complaints. Now, if only they listened to the legit complaints about allowing independent theaters to show older Fox movies like Die Hard and Fight Club. And I'm saying that as I'm a subscriber at Disney Plus, so I'm a hypocrite. I just can't resist The Mandalorian. Also, McClunky! Oh, did you hear about McClunky?
No, but I heard about Baby Yoda.
You don't know McClunky? Oh my God.
Who's McClunky?
No. Believe it or not, so this is actually, this is something they added in Star Wars Episode 4. And believe it or not...
They added something?
Yes. That's the thing. And believe it or not, it's on the Hans Guido scene. Guido scene.
Oh,
so
they re-edited that again.
Yes. The only thing, where I kid you not, the only thing they added is like, the scene goes normally where it's like, Yabobisko da, Yaboska. Yes, I bet you have. In which Guido responds with, McClunky! And then they do the shooting. So after the shooting, Greedo says McClunky, and everybody is freaking out about it.
Are they just trolling? Are they just trolling at this point?
And no. This is not Disney, by the way. Apparently, this was a thing that George Lucas tried to add in one of his edits. So this is a George Lucas thing. So yes, yes. This is a George Lucas thing.
I thought part of their deal when they got bought out by Disney was to not do any further alterations.
No, this was actually before. George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney. Like, this was before it happened. And now now we saw what just happened, and now we got McClunky.
We're not the wiser for it.
We are all McClunky. The decision was very McClunky.
Although I've heard good things about The Mandalorian. Okay, that's on the one side, but on the other side, still no Song of the South. Oh well.
But we do have McClunky now. That's important.
But we do have McClunky. Yeah, they released Dumbo on there saying this film depicts stereotypes with blah 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 blah. Why didn't they just have, at that rate, have Whoopi Goldberg come out and explain the movie before they show it to you, like they did with the Tom and Jerry DVD, saying, "Oh yeah."
I actually wouldn't mind.
Anyway, well, we own her. She's on The View.
That's true. Anyways, this is the first time they have to change the aspect ratio. When I was on Hulu, I tried to watch DreamWorks Spirit. Excuse me. They changed the aspect ratio from 2:23 to 1:85 ratio, and I didn't like it one bit. Streaming services like Disney Plus want to change something to make it more appealing, but it always turns out bad. The lesson to give to everybody is not to mess up and show the movies in their proper aspect ratio. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see now. I'm glad Disney Plus is learning their lessons about trying to make even old material into 16.9. Sadly, according to another article I read related to Disney Plus, some countries like Malaysia and England won't have it until 2020 and 2021. Also, I'm still miffed that the one Simpsons episode we aren't going to see in Disney Plus is the Michael Jackson episode, even though those claims are still debatable. Okay, for that one, though, like, I understand the whole controversy of Stark Raving Dad and the fact that it's not on Disney Plus. That is not Disney's decision, however. That was actually the choice of Matt Groening, Al Jean, and James L. Brooks, the showrunners. They were the ones who decided and unanimously agreed to just not show Stark Raving Dad anymore. So for Disney, they're just doing their wishes. So if you want any complaints, just go towards them. And they decide, and yes, they did decide that when the whole Michael Jackson controversy was hot with the Leaving Neverland documentary. So I just want to make that clear that that was not Disney's decision. That is the Simpsons showrunners' decision.
Yeah, someone brought up an interesting point. Why didn't they put that warning on Peter Pan?
Yeah, I think they
or did they?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they didn't do... I know that they did not do that just on Dumbo. I haven't fully checked if they also did it. I think they've also done so, like, on Lady and the Tramp as well. I think they better do it on frickin' Peter Pan, because I still stand by my...
That's the weirdest looking of all.
Yeah, no, I still stand by my statement that what Peter Pan did to the natives is the most racist thing that Disney has done, bar none.
Like, anything and everything can be made fun of, but some stuff doesn't really age well. At least the crows had character.
Mm-hmm.
At least they had a reason to exist.
Oh yeah, and I mean, even that's debatable on, like, their racism. Like, it really is kind of a gray area.
Or in areas like that, I prefer more so racial than racist. But anyway.
Yeah, true. Like I said, it's a gray area. Let's see, one more comment before we jump on to the next story. On the subject of Hulu, I've been watching the redub of the original Sailor Moon, and they kept the original aspect ratio, and it looks perfectly fine. If they could keep the original aspect ratio, there's no excuse for Disney not to. And especially, yeah, and one thing that I'm surprised nobody really mentioned is the fact that they kept the aspect ratio of their old movies, so why not Simpsons? Like Snow White, Dumbo, Fantasia, Pinocchio, they got their aspect ratio fine. Why not Simpsons?
The only thing I noticed on Disney Plus is that in older cartoons from the 90s, some of the episodes are out of order. Okay, well, that can be a bit of an annoying issue. Thank you,
Yeah, that's
Closer.
like that's a bit of minor inconvenience.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least we get to see Timon and Pumbaa in widescreen now, so.
Yay. All right.
I actually just had an idea. If they're not going to do okay, so they're not going to re-release Song of the South, but we all still know that they have those characters in their theme park.
Mm-hmm.
So why not do a new series inspired by that within the confines of today's cultural norms, kind of like the way that they did with the new Three Caballeros?
I don't see why not. That could be possible.
I mean,
you might bring up a good idea, actually. Just do like a whole like Brer Rabbit animated series.
Yeah.
Why? Maybe.
And have it be a beehive and not a
tar baby?
that he sticks to, and not a tar baby like how they reworked that in on Splash Mountain.
Yeah, you never know, man. All right, so with that said, though, I think it's time that we're going to go and jump onto the grand finale. Yes, it is time that we're going to go into the last story. And we're going to be talking about a show that's already been finished not too long ago, but making a quick comeback now. So it wouldn't be too long that we had to say goodbye, but now they're going to be returning in a little bit of a different format. And what I'm about to say is, I know that the life of what we had in the 2010s are done, but now let's go and be ready for the pony life. Yes, Hasbro...
Get ready for the pony life. Da, 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 da.
Yes, Hasbro has officially revealed a brand new animated series that's going to be coming out in 2020, along with a toy line tie-in, which is going to be called Pony Life, that is loosely inspired by the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series. In fact, a lot of people...
Loosely inspired.
Yeah, and a lot of people right now, they're even saying that technically this is not necessarily Generation 5 of My Little Pony. This is more like 4.5 in a way. So, exactly,
because you look at the designs here, and it still resembles Friendship is Magic heavily.
Yeah.
I see this and I say, well, the show was coming to an end. That was nice. Let's move on. And then somebody came out and said, no, we can't let go of this cash cow yet. We've already got another My Little Pony movie coming out.
Yes, that is true. In fact, just want to know, like, where is the, there's a proper story. Like, they even stated that the big change... Well, actually, I'll go and read from some of my source, which is going to be coming from Equestria Daily. There's one part that says here... The main 6 characters fans fell in love with My Little Pony Friendship is Magic are back with all new character designs inspired by chibi-style animation. The My Little Pony Pony Life series launches next year with all new content premiering on Discovery Family and Discovery Family Go, and short-form content on the My Little Pony YouTube channel. My Little Pony Pony Life features the same voice actors who made the main 6 famous in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. So yeah, they're really they really are keeping the same elements of Generation 4. But to go and describe to you a little bit of what this series is about, there we go. This is what I've been looking for. The new My Little Pony Pony Life show looks at the funny side of friendship. The new center of the world is Sugar Cube Corner. Just like going to a friend's house after school, this is our pony's home away from home. Here, Pinkie Pie serves up frosted cupcakes to her best customers in the world, her friends. Pony Life episodes feature hilarious slice-of-life stories that modern kids can relate to. The series is loaded with magic, including mysterious sources, a mysterious source of potions that Pinkie Pie keeps hidden behind the bakery counter and breaks out when the need arises. So basically...
Okay, the last time... Sorry,
Yeah?
what?
No, you go.
Okay, so the last time I think kids did this sort of thing, go hang out at the mall after school, was probably during the 90s.
Or even, like,
Uh,
maybe the last
the
show that did
2000s.
that, yeah, like, 16. Like, that,
Mhm.
that's basically what the show is about.
Yeah, so this is from what you're describing here, it's nothing new. I'm not gonna write this off, and I'm not gonna write this off as they're trying to do Teen Titans Go here. But I know some of the hardcore fans of Friendship is Magic that watch the show till its bleeding end are probably going to be the audience that this is geared towards.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like you say, a new generation. I will always have a further attachment to the Care Bears, but that's just me. So I really have not too much to say about this. It's just Hasbro uh, acknowledging that they need to slightly rehash something in order to keep on making the money.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to agree with you. Like, I have nothing against what they are presenting with Pony Life creatively. Like, okay, I do understand they want to present this nice little slice of life series, and they want to have, like, they want to keep the characters going, to have, like, fun little moments and, like, Pinkie Pie's bakery and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like, I wouldn't have anything against it creatively. It's just that I feel like making a show like this is just way too soon. Like, right now, fans have already went through, like, the whole grand finale of Friendship is Magic. Like, throughout the 2010 decade, like, we already went through the whole My Little Pony craze, and, like, even during the middle of the decade, like, it already died down pretty quickly. And then, like, we only had, like, this small resurgence of it this year because it was the last season and it was the end of everything. So,
Oh yeah, remember when it first started out, the era of pony related memes was upon us.
oh yeah, like, it was a phenomenon. Like,
Yeah.
like back when Friendship is Magic was popular, like, it was kind of like this brand new concept that nobody was really expecting. That, like, for many years we always thought that My Little Pony was just like this Hasbro franchise that's just geared towards girls. But then here comes this series, which was incredibly well made, that audiences really adored, and it ended up not only appealing to its prime target audience, but also it gathered a very large prominent fan base that is kind of like the opposite of the usual target audience of My Little Ponies, which is grown adult men, which they also fell in love with the characters of My Little Pony, like Pinkie Pie, Twilight Sparkle, Rarity, Fluttershy, and all those ponies. So, like, back then, it was a massive phenomenon. But with this, however, like, especially with the way that they kind of dragged on the My Little Pony franchise, especially with Friendship is Magic, I don't think they're ever going to get that kind of popularity back. I think, like, we're already at the point where it's obvious that My Little Pony has definitely peaked in popularity, and there's no way in frickin' hell that Pony Life is going to reach that level. I don't think that they would ever capture that level of fame and popularity to the point that there were several conventions completely dedicated to this one show. So I don't think it's really going to be that big and popular. And like I said before, I feel like doing something like this right now is just way too soon. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not give audiences a break from My Little Pony so that they can have fond memories of Friendship is Magic, and then, like, several years later, we would have, like, a full-on Generation 5. Because this, it just feels like, yeah, they want to try to do, yeah, like with this, it's obvious they want to try something new, but they're still but it's still a little too obvious that they're just trying to cash in on the popularity of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, even though that thing has already run dry. It has already run its course. Now, this is not to say that the show is gonna suck. I'm not bashing the show or anything like that. It could turn out to be something that's great and enjoyable, and that old fans of My Little Pony will enjoy this as much as they do with Friendship is Magic. It's just the intentions are kind of what's turning me off here. It's very clear that Hasbro is still trying to profit very hard on the popularity of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and with Pony Life, it doesn't feel like it's a new series. It's just it feels like Hasbro is not letting go of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. At least that's my feeling towards it.
Yeah, I mean, remember when the level of popularity of the show was in its infancy? They had that fighting game that was being produced, and then Hasbro stepped in and said, "No, you can't make this game based off of our characters." They turned it into them's fighting herds.
Yeah,
which is actually still being worked on, as far as I know. I had a lot of talent behind it. I would actually play something like that, but you know what? I don't think this new show is ready for that kind of fan-related prime time. And it's definitely not gonna have the same creepypasta fan fiction.
Yeah. Oh God. No, I don't think, like, at least that's probably the one good thing about Pony Life is that, yeah, it may not be as popular as Friendship is Magic, but at the very least, it's not going to be the kind of series that will ignite some, like, weird stuff that Friendship is Magic did. I don't think, we're not going to have people that will love Friendship is Magic, if you know what I mean.
The stories that showed up on Nash's podcast, I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God. Okay, so I think we've already got our fill with Pony Life. Like, we've already had our good say on what could be that thing. Now, if you guys are excited, of course, you can go and check it out. The show is going to be coming out on Discovery Family in 2020, so you can mark your calendars if you are curious as to how it is, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe the show will be good. Who knows?
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, do we want to ask our viewing audience about this?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was about to ask. Guys, I want to know now in the chat wall, what do you all think about Pony Life? Now, if you guys are actual fans of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, I would really love to know, is this something that you would get into? Would you be interested in watching Pony Life? Are you guys, do you guys would give it a pass? Let me know what you all think of this.
Yeah, let's start steering the conversation back towards what's actually being talked about in this podcast again, and not whatever flame war is going on here, please.
Oh, good God, is there... Oh, my God, what the fridge? I thought I had moderators to fix this up, and now, like... What the fridge? Like, seriously? Oh, God. Okay, like, whatever. Let's just give that a pass. Let's see. Do we have any... Like, okay, let's just forget about all this. Like, forget about whatever flame war is going on. Can we just go into My Little Pony? Like, anybody have any comments about this? Okay, so we do have something. We do have something, finally. All right, let's see now. As a longtime Brony fan since 2011, I'm going to give this show a go. I don't care if it's a little too similar to Unikitty or whatever those butthurt haters Bronies say. I'm still gonna watch it. For those who are not fond of the way they are designated here, trust me, I have seen worse. I mean, look at Generation 3.5 of My Little Pony, aka Newborn Cooties. Those were hideous to the point where they can even scare infants. So glad Toucan LDM poked fun of them in one of his MLP Meets videos. I think Friendship is Magic is still the best. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be something that will top Friendship is Magic.
Also, if you want something that's a ripoff of Unikitty, look up Rainbow Butterfly Unicorn Kitty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that definitely sounds like it. Let's see now. I'm honestly a bit optimistic about the show. The designs of the characters look cute. I'm happy the original cast is coming back. This and the IDW Season 10 comics could deliver something to give people their brony fill until G5 arrives. Okay, yeah, that is true. You do bring up a good point that IDW does have a Season 10 comic series for those who are still too attached to Season 9, or still too attached to Friendship is Magic. So at least, like, there are ways that you can have your My Little Pony fill, either if it's Pony Life or the comics or stuff like that, you know, just to wait until, like, there is an official G5 coming out. So there is that. Let's see now. Well, I will say that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic had the same humor as Teen Titans Go, like the Simpsons humor for elementary school. So this series has the same humor then. It will do as well, but it's more like Tough Puppies type stuff like the original show was then, and the show will do okay at best. Yeah, I think that's the best thing you could say about it, is that it will be fine. It will not be a phenomenon, but it will be fine. Okay, so we'll have one more comment, and then we're gonna end this off right here. Let's see.
Yeah.
As far as Pony Life goes, I might check it out. It looks silly so far with the characters looking like Sanrio characters, but I recently became a fan of Agretsuko, and the characters there look cute. So, even
if not vicious.
Yeah. So, even if the designs look different, the story and writing could possibly still be good. Yeah, that is a good point, man. And
this will be an increasingly adequate show, which means it'll, by today's standards, it will last about 2 or 3 seasons.
Pretty much. So with that said, I think that should conclude this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. So, James, let me just say thank you so much for coming in here, because holy crap, it's a long episode, but man, having you involved and having your say in some of these things, it makes it totally worth it. I just gotta say that. So with that said though, if there are people listening to this that want to know if they want to follow you and check out some of your stuff and follow you on the internet, where would they go? Tell me, where would they find you?
Oh, first off, you can follow me on youtube.com/Jaimetud, which I'm gonna go ahead and drop the links here. But because YouTube is on the verge of sucking the big one, I've also opened up a BitChute page.
Oh God, did you get hit with the COPA thing? Like, did your content get filled like with kid stuff? Like, did they label it with as kid stuff?
They haven't labeled it one way or the other. I'm just here's my BitChute page. I just think BitChute has not gone copyright crazy. That's the nice thing about it. If you want to see what it is that I do in terms of the live streams with the Drive-In Mutants, just go ahead and you can hit up my profile right here. Just click on my name and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time we go live. We do a riff every other Friday or Saturday or so. It depends on the week. Sometimes it's even rather sporadic. Check out the From Pages to Pictures fan page, a fan club on Facebook. Just go ahead and Google that, and that'll be another good way of keeping in touch with everything. And also my friends Morgan Ledger of Vaulting and Gus Webb, aka the Nostalgia Kid. Look those guys up. They're great. They're great producers. Cody Klusner, aka the Movie Venture.
I think
I'll get
I
a
don't
shout
know if
out.
it's either me, but I think like Cody was even here. Like I saw like his name pop up a few times, or maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, Cody was here. I was noticing him in there. I was giving him a shout out.
Okay, so it wasn't me. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, how many people with the last name Klusner do you know?
Yeah, that is true. All right, so I think with all that said and done, I just would like to say thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for listening, and hopefully by next week, we will still have more crazy stories to go and talk about. So with all that done, and with all that said, I would like to say, once again, thank you all so much for watching and listening, and until next time, see you later, dudes!